All right, welcome. This is the No Prior Training Plan webinar. And I'm so glad you're joining me tonight. Feel free to type in who you are, where you coach, if you coach boys, if you coach girls, if you coach both. And I'm recording this in 2023, February 23rd, 2023, kind of a fun date. And the bottom line is like there's a lot of places where you've already started 1 week of outdoor track. Maybe it starts next week. This is a great time to be talking about this. Who this is for the type of athlete who the idea of no prior training is that they haven't done any training prior to meeting you for the first day of outdoor track. Now, this could be an athlete who ran cross country with you in the fall, but didn't train over the winter, and they're coming in having not trained. So we have to put them in this group. Where it gets a little tricky is, what do we do with the athlete who swam, who played basketball, or who wasn't running? Should we put them in this plan? If you have an athlete like that, we're going to talk about that at the end of this presentation, okay? The first thing I want to talk about, and what I've done is I've recorded a very concise video that walks us through day by day what we're going to do in the first 3 weeks of this no prior training plan. But let's take a step back, okay? Tell me if you, and you can put this in the chat, tell me if this resonates with you and if you believe this. If we can keep kids injury-free, that's going to lead to kids PRing, right? If they're injury-free, they're going to run faster, and then they're going to have fun, right? If kids are injury-free, then they get to run all the races, and then they're going to have fun. If kids are injury-free, they don't miss any practices, and even hard practices are fun, right? So injury-free, they get to run all the workouts and the practices, and they get to have fun. And how about this? Here's this final one. There's so many people that care, that like cross country a little more than track, and that's great. There's kids, coaches, there's a lot of people that are in that boat. If you have kids that stay injury-free in track and have a great time in track, and they have fun, they're going to come out in June to run cross country. So my point is, it's always moving this way. It's starting with injury-free and moving us towards fun, right? That's what we absolutely have to do with the no prior training plan. Okay, so in the chat here is, you might have to scroll up a little bit. I'm going to put it in right now. There's this link that you can download this document, and it's got this kind of funny URL. But what it's going to do is it's going to take you to a site. And if you're watching the recording of this, you just got to click below the video here. It's called bit.ly. It's just bit.ly, and then it's / no prior training plan. You know, I put version 1 because I might change this at some point. If I do, and you're watching the recording, I'll put it here under this video here on YouTube. Bottom line is this: click on that. Even if you're already getting my newsletters and you've already given me your email, this is what you need to do to be able to download this document. You don't have to do it right now to be able to follow along with what we're doing, but do that at some point after the webinar, or you can do it now. And yeah, we're just going to hop into it. So what I'm realizing is, often for me, things go a little bit smoother if I can share with you a video. I recorded this earlier tonight, and then when I have to pause or I screw something up, I edit it out. So what we're about to watch it's live for us now, and it's a concise overview of this no prior training plan. So let's hop into that. Okay, this first day, the biggest thing they're doing is Jeff's warm-up, and we're doing this post-run work, okay? And remember, this is going to take us, Jeff's warm-up, when you're teaching, once they learn it, it's only going to take 13 minutes. But teaching it, it's going to take probably 20 minutes that first day. And we're just doing 6 by 100 meter strides on the turf with 60 seconds recovery. For a kid who hasn't done anything all winter, that's actually going to be a little bit challenging. And then red easy, if they have to take a lot of time learning it, that's fine. Then the next day, we're doing Jeff's warm-up. They definitely won't have it dialed in here. They're still learning. 200, 200, 150, 150. We're doing recovery jogs. So they'll do a 200, and then they'll jog a 200 easy. They'll do another 200, and then they'll jog essentially 250, do a 150, jog 250, and then run the 150. So what we're looking at there is 1,600 meters of running, and that's all they're going to do, red easy. Then this next day, Wednesday, they do the same thing as Monday. Thursday is the first day that they're going for a run with their friends. So just a 10-minute, they'll do Jeff's warm-up straight into a 10-minute run, and now we're doing strides again, and then they go into red easy. I think on Thursday, you can expect them to do this, boom to boom to boom. Warm up to 10-minute run to strides to the red easy. But if that's a little bit challenging and is unrealistic, I think that's fine. But we're aspiring to that type of day on Thursday. Okay, Friday, we're doing a circuit, and a circuit's going to be hard. Just 20 minutes for the younger kids. If you have kids who've done, maybe ran cross country, didn't do anything this winter, I think they can do 30 minutes. Kids coming from other sports could do 30 minutes. And then you'll have to, I'll go down here to it. With the circuit workout, just use these QR codes right here, and that'll take you to the right video to show you what to do. But basically, you can run 200s or 150. So this is a running circuit. This is not a circuit in the weight room. And I'm not going to go into that right now. You'll have to take the time to watch those videos, but I'll link to those videos. The barefoot routine is the one thing that I did not give you in these documents, because that's part of Jeff Bolay's essential routines, which you can get at coachjjohnson.com. But the bottom line is, when people purchase the track training system or the cross-country training system, they get the barefoot routines. Okay, Saturday's off, brisk walk and some self-therapy. Sunday, possibly 20 to 30-minute brisk walk, maybe some yoga, maybe something like that. I'd tell them Saturday they don't need to do much. I think Sunday, if they do a little bit more, that's great. Most kids aren't going to go for a 60-minute brisk walk, and a lot of these kids won't do anything Saturday or Sunday, and that's fine. But Monday, we've got a track workout. So we're doing 3x300 with a 3-minute recovery. So what we're going to do is, this is 900 meters of work, all at 800-meter rhythm, okay? Now, this is 800-meter, specifically, this is more like date pace. Like if you had to put them in an 800 on this Monday in a race, what do you think they would run? And again, like if they blow these up, we'll get out of here for a second. You got to trust me on this. If they blow up this workout, that's okay. If they run the first 300 too hard and then they're going to recover 3 minutes and they just are toast for the next 2 reps, I think that's fine. This doesn't need to go perfectly. This is just the second week of training, but we do need to have something that's challenging. Okay. So what we're doing here is we're running a 300 from a standing start and finish at the 100-meter start. So this is at the normal start line. They're doing a 300, and they're going to run through that line. Okay. So they don't just hit the brakes. Now we've got a 3-minute walk jog. They're probably walking. Then we're going to do a 300 from that same place that they finished. So from the 100-meter start. So now we're doing home stretch, and then we're doing first curve, and we're doing back stretch. Okay. Now they should do it with a run in. We don't need a standing start for either of these, because that's a little bit harder on the hamstrings. Now we're doing another 3-minute walk, jog, and then now we're going to do a 300, and we're going to see if they can go fastest. So we're going to do a run in. We're going to do back stretch, second curve, home stretch. Okay. And what's great about this is mentally what we're doing for them, what we're doing with them, or for them, I should say, in this workout, is we're getting them mentally to say, hey, when I'm uncomfortable and I'm not feeling great, I can run fast down the back stretch. I can run faster on that second curve, and I can run my fastest 100 meters in the home stretch. Now, as I said earlier, are they going to be able to execute this? Probably not, but that's okay. That's what the goal is. And take 3-minute walk jog, and then let's go into red hard. Okay. This is a hard day. Jeff's warm up workout, hard day. This is a great place in the no prior training system to understand that if you look at the volume that they covered, even in the warm-up, the number of foot strikes and the total amount of distance that they covered, it's not very much. But if we think about it philosophically, these kids have done nothing 9 days ago, right? They did absolutely nothing. And now we're hitting them with 900 meters of work at 800-meter date pace or faster, and they're doing red post-run work. And in the warm-up, they had a little bit of rhythmic type stuff. There's a little bit of plyometric aspect to Jeff's warm as well. So this is a very good day. Now, if we did that on Monday, we got to go real easy on Tuesday. So 10 minutes easy with their friends and 6 strides, red easy. Now we're coming back Wednesday. It's similar to what we did last week, but now we're doing 2 200s, 2 150s, 2 120s. Some people might say, Jay, you're getting a little, that's a little too much. Hey, we've got to get going in the no prior training system, but all they're doing is jogging the recovery in between what is a full lap. So when you add these up, this is 6 laps of running. This last 120 is these last two 120s, or these last 2 reps, the 120s We really want them running with good posture, running pretty fast. Because we want that, let's have them run 200 meters really conservative. And if you're wondering, hey, Jay, what pace should I tell them? At this point, these kids have run, lots of 100-meter strides. They've done that 800-meter workout. Tell them, say, hey, run a 200, fast, kind of fun fast, but make it conservative. If a kid blows this up today and the 200 goes well, the second 200 goes well, the 150 so-so, the second 150 not so good, and they can't run fast on the 120s, that's okay. Because one of the things we talk about in consistency is key. One of the things they're learning is to run by feel. We don't need to time those. Now, if you're thinking, well, what if they sandbag it on the 200s, run fast on the 150s and crush the 120s? I don't think that's a bad thing. I would slightly prefer that than the other way, but just know we're in the second week of practice. They don't have to have things dialed in. And remember, what we're trying to do here is get them to run by feel, which is going to help them race with appropriate splits. Maybe not in the first 2 or 3 meets, but hopefully a little bit later after that. Okay. So we had a hard day Monday. I'd say Wednesday is a medium day. Let's keep Thursday really easy. You could do 10 to 15 minutes of a run, but if it was me, I'd stick to 10. Oh, and I didn't say this on Wednesday. We're doing the hard day. So red hard and then red easy Tuesday. Wednesday, we came back with red hard. So, this is maybe medium plus, getting closer to a hard day. And Thursday, we're going to keep it easy. And then we're going to do a circuit again on Friday. Here's the deal. Circuits are really hard, and everybody, both athletes and coaches, underestimate how hard they're going to be. If you do a circuit with intensity, it's going to be one of the hardest things kids can do. We'll widen out of here a little bit so you can see it. This is Brent Vaughn. I was blessed to be able to coach him. That's him winning the U.S. cross country title. In the month of September, for a professional runner, I would have them do circuits, and they were hard. Now, granted, their circuits were 40 to 50 minutes, but it was the exact same exercises that you're going to have your kids doing. And then we were running sometimes 700s in between as opposed to 250s or 300s. But the bottom line is a circuit it's the safest way to build the aerobic engine and even get a little bit of lactate tolerance work as well. Okay, so these are going to be really hard for kids. So I think the phrase people use is don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on the circuit being hard. Okay, Saturday and Sunday are easy. All right, now we're going to do a 1,600-meter workout on Monday, and it's going to be a 400, a 400, a 400, so 3 400s, and we're going to finish with a 200. What are the recoveries? It's a 200-meter jog, and the jog is as easy as they need to go to run B goal pace, okay? So let's talk about A, B, and C. When you and your athletes go into the season, you should have an A, a B, and a C goal. The B is something that's a PR that if it happens, you're going to be happy with. The C is also a PR, but it's not great. It's just a small PR. And the A, that's your stretch goal, as some people talk about. This is something that they're capable of doing, but is really out there, is right on the limits of what we think they could do. Now, here's why this is important in terms of workouts, and it applies to this workout, but it's going to apply to the entire track season. You've got to be running B goal pace right away. So we are doing it not only in the third week, but we're doing it the first workout of the third week. We've got to get them in the rhythm of whatever you think they can run. In the state of Colorado, this workout would happen at the beginning of March. Whatever you think they can run at the end of March or beginning of April or mid-April, let's do that right away in week 1, okay? Often in our workouts, we're going to get to A pace within the workout or run even faster, right? And this is one of the things in consistency is key. There's so many things in that book that underlie all the training I share, which is we've got to run race pace or faster. That applies to cross country and applies to track. Okay, so to go into this workout, it's just very straightforward. We're running a 400, then we're jogging a 200 as slow as they need to be, come back and run a 400, jog a 200. Well, here's how I have it laid out. Run a 400, jog a 200. Run another 400, jog a 200 super slow. Now they've got to get after it, run one more 400. This 200 could be crazy slow. And then this 200 has to be at 95%, okay? That should be really fast for them. Here's why we essentially want them running 200 meters all out, okay? But if we tell an athlete to run all out, that's what we get. We get tight shoulders, tight arms, tight neck. Later in the season, we can give them a Q of 97%. But today, in week 3, it's only their it's only their second serious workout. Let's give them the Q of 95%. Okay. Now, the reason that this day is killer hard on Mondays, we're going to red hard, or we might even do the orange hard for kids. If you have a kid coming out from basketball, let's say, they can probably do orange hard this day. Red is very easy. And for older kids, I'd like to see them do orange today. Tuesday's a little bit different in terms of going easy. I shouldn't say it's different. They're running a 10-minute easy run with friends. And you might say, Jay, last Thursday, they might have run 15 minutes. Monday was really hard. Be conservative, just 10 minutes, and we're only doing 4 by 100-meter strides. And you might say, Jay, well, I don't understand. We did 6 last week. Just trust me on this. Keep it really easy. And it says red or orange easy. You could have had them do orange hard today, but then give them red easy. Remember, our hard days are hard and our easy days are easy, right? But the way people screw it up usually is they want the hard days to be hard, and then they get a little greedy and want the easy days to be easy plus or medium, okay? Think of it this way. Let's keep our easy days really easy so we can hit it on Monday, we can hit it on Friday, and we can have a medium day on Wednesday. So that's what we're going to do here. Show you what that looks like. So what are we doing with our Wednesday medium day? 2 200s, 2 150s, 2 120s. Same thing they did the week before, but we're just hoping to run a little faster. What we're talking about here, oh, and I forgot to say this last time. I would have them run the 200, 200, 150 in their training shoes, then take some time and they can spike up to run 150, 120, 120 in terms of spikes. If you think about it, what's that going to add up to? 240, 340, 390, basically 400 meters in their spikes running fast. We really have to have a progression of footwear, and we have to be mindful of this. Going back to what they do on Monday, I would just keep them in trainers for this whole workout and then get them in the spikes for these days. For most of these kids who haven't, been working into spikes throughout the winter, we want to be very careful with that in the workouts. And then on a meet day, if you're saying, well, they've got to run 1,600 meters in spikes and run the 4x4, yeah, I understand. If they've got to run 2,000 meters in spikes, that's fine. But let's be cautious with how much they are in the spikes for this workout. Feel free in the questions if you want to push back on that one a little bit, because I think you can argue that a couple different ways. Okay, this Thursday, they're doing what they did last Thursday, 10 to 15 minutes with strides. And then now we're doing, this is something I think they should do a circuit. I think 20 to 25 minutes for the younger kids and a 35-minute circuit for the older kids. And this should be the hardest thing they've done in terms of just having to be gritty and have to really enduring some discomfort. And then we do the barefoot routine. I didn't explain this in the other circuits. We don't do exercises, post-run exercises with the circuits because that's part of the circuit, right? We're already doing all that general strength. Now, if in week 3, you say, Jay, I have kids who ran cross country and they can do a progression run in week 3 on the Friday, I will sign off on that all the time. If you want to do a fartlek run, I think that's great, but I would do a progression run. I'd keep it to just 20 minutes, 10 minutes at a pace that feels steady, 5 minutes a little bit faster, and then 5 minutes fast, but controlled. With that 5 minutes, they have to be able to say to you, coach, I definitely had 2 more minutes in me. Not, I talk about farther or faster or both, and consistency is key. Like a long run, they need to be able to say, I could have run farther, maybe 5 or 10 more minutes, and I could have run those 5 or 10 minutes faster. With the progression run, we're not saying that. We're saying I could have run a little bit farther, like 2 or 3 minutes, but we don't have to say that they could have run faster. That's just my take on it. And this is what I think makes the most sense to kids, because we want those last 5 minutes fast. And I think it's easier mentally for them to be able to say, yes, I could have hung on for another 2 or 3 minutes. Would have been really hard, but I could have done that. So if you don't want to do the circuit on this hard day here on Friday and want to do a progression run, that's great. But man, if you have a younger kid who's never been out for the track team, you can do that. One final thing, I should have said this about circuits the first time. Common suffering, right? Don't let the kids watch this video, but let's be honest, they are going to suffer in that circuit. This is something you can have seniors in high school and freshmen in high school doing together for 20, 25, 30 minutes. And it's just a great thing for your team to do, to have freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors all doing the exact same thing. And on the 200s, 250s, 300s, whatever you need to do for the running in between the exercises, they can do that a little bit faster. Okay, I'm just realizing I skipped over something on this workout. Both in this workout in week 2 and in week 3, we're doing the pre-race warm-up. So you can check out that document, and you just go to the link in the description here, and you do have to share your email to get this document. But it's 13 pages. It's got everything in there. Our pre-race warm-up has a lot of Jeff's elements in it, and it has some strides, and then we do that workout. Okay, that's the recorded part of this. Now we're going to hop into questions. All right. I hope you like that format. I really like it. What I like about it is that when I record it, I mean, there's only one part I had to chop out. I actually had an error in the training document. And everybody who's part of the track training system, it's been updated. It was correct on one line and it was a little bit confusing on another. But yeah, I put that in the chat. That first page of the document, is 3 weeks, every day. What are we doing? Now let's look at that document and go through it piece by piece, just so you can get a feel for what's in there. So we just went over this. Oh, and then obviously you're going to be able to ask questions. I don't have a lot more to say, but I really want to take questions here. We've got to do a progression of strides. So that's 2 pages of this document here. And it's very clearly laid out. Now, the red progression, pre-run and post-run, this is what your kids are going to do. So if you're, I talked about Jeff's warm-up, here's everything in Jeff's warm-up. And when you download this PDF, when you go to that link, you're going to automatically be sent you'll be sent a link to get the video on your phone or on your computer. Okay. So if you're looking at all this, you're thinking, I don't know what, I don't know what side shuffle and I don't know what forward, backward swings and all that is. It's all in there. Big 5 is very simple. 5 push-ups, 5 body squats, 4 push-ups, 4 body squats, 3, 2, 1. That's very simple. And then same thing with these here. If you don't know what these exercises are, you're going to get a video. It's called free training videos, and you'll get that. Now, we do easy days and hard days with the red progression. So that was our easy day. The hard day, we're going to do some more stuff, but it's pretty easy. We're just adding the lunge matrix. If you've been following my work for a while, you know that the lunge matrix used to be a warm-up routine. Excuse me. Now we're using it for post-run. Red is pretty easy. I should probably zoom out to make this point here. Red is really easy. If you have an athlete coming from basketball or swimming, or you had an athlete who ran with you in cross country and then didn't train over the winter, a lot of them are going to be able to hop into orange. Okay. It goes red, orange, yellow, green. It gets really hard between orange and yellow. And there's some coaches here that are part of the track training system. And they can tell you, for an athletic kid who played basketball in the winter, they might only need 1 week of red and then they'll go into orange. But before we go from orange to yellow, they're going to have to gain some strength. So anyway, this is our orange routine. And there's just a little bit more in here. There's a different cool down on the easy day. And then the hard days got quite a bit more. We're doing a lower body circuit. Again, all these exercises are in the videos. We go into Core X. You can find that for free on YouTube. That's in the videos too. I mean, everything, when you share your email, you get this video and you get this app that has everything listed on these documents. Okay, so that's the post-run work. The circuits, these videos are free on YouTube, and you just click this QR code to be taken to these videos I did for running times, the much beloved but now defunct running times. That's what it says in my bio. My significant other loves that it's phrased that way, and that's how I feel about it. Running times was great. Okay, we'll get off that tangent. In the first video, we're going to be doing these various exercises, and they're running 300 or 700. In your document, I said kids could run 200 or 250. It's keep the running minimal to get in all this general strength. And remember, on this circuit day, they're doing all these general strength routine or exercises, so we're not doing post-run work. Okay, so now you got the circuits. And then the final thing is we've got a race day, our pre-race day for track. We're actually not going to use that in what I gave you, but we do need this stuff down here. We need the pre-race warm-up. So before that 800-meter workout and before that 1,600-meter workout, we're going to do Jeff's warm-up. And this is a little bit off. It says 10-minute run. Your kids aren't going to be doing that yeah, I guess I screwed this up. This is the pre-race warm-up. And when I go back there, go up here, I guess you shouldn't be doing that warm-up. I'm going to have to think about that. Huh. That's embarrassing that I made the mistake. We're talking right here where it says pre-race warm-up. We don't want a 10-minute run for these kids on this day. So basically what we're going to do is do Jeff's warm-up. They could do a couple strides. Let's go back. Man, this is nothing like doing this on live and realizing you made a mistake. So what we'd want to do here is do Jeff's warm-up. We can skip all this stuff. We could spike up, do 150 in and outs, and maybe run a couple reps at race pace. This is what kids are going to be doing, after week 3 and 4, what they're actually going to be doing prior to races, right? But for most of your kids, they're going to need to skip that. So I would just take that out, the pre-race stuff. All right. And then Brian. Oh, and then here's the deal. Some people are live on Twitter. Some people are live on Facebook. Some people are live on YouTube. And somebody, this is a great question coming in from Brian. Is there any way to get this PDF from you? Yeah, Brian, you're going to have to go to YouTube, CoachJJohnson.com, and in the comments on YouTube, there's this link and you'll have it there. And it's also when you check out the recording, when we're done here, it'll be there as well. And then, or you can go to CoachJJohnson.com, get on my email list. I'm going to be sending this to people on my email list tomorrow. All right. Now I just want to reiterate why we're doing this, right? What we want is not here, right? What we want is for an athlete to have run cross country, to have taken an easy week, and then gotten after it for, 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks over the winter. What we want is for them to have done the progression of stride so that right now, today, on February 23rd, they could run 100 meters at 400-meter PR pace and just feel good, looking good, feeling good, right? But that's not what we have. We have kids who either ran across country and didn't do anything over the winter, kids who are coming out having never done a sport, right? You could have a kid coming in as a freshman in high school who's never done a sport. Or we have an athlete, and this applies to a lot of athletes who are at smaller schools, they played basketball. We've got a lot of kids who have coaches in the track training system where it's basketball players coming into track and it's swimmers coming into track. If you're in that situation, ask some questions here, because this is really a good one to talk about. But even them, they haven't done a progression run. They haven't done a long run. They haven't done a fartlek run. And for that basketball player, well, if we look at the swimmer, they've got the big aerobic engine, right? But they haven't hit the ground at all, right? So if we send them out on a long run, that's a recipe for injury, right? And we don't want to do that. The basketball player has run up and down the court. They've moved in all 3 planes of motion. They've done some plyometrics, but they haven't gone for a sustained effort that's 15, 20, 25 minutes, such as a progression run. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is that if you're looking at this, you're like, man, Jay, there just wasn't enough running in there. Remember, we need to be really conservative in those 3 weeks that I laid out to keep kids injury free so that they can get to the meet, have fun racing, and do that over and over and over and have a great season. Okay. So we've got Jeff here asking a question on Facebook. Jeff says, love the no prior training plan. And Jeff knows this training. My only concern is we have some great winter turnout and are at a small school. So no prior training athletes could be limited to 1 to 5 athletes. Note we have no track at our school, but we could use one once or twice a week. Can we adapt most of this to a football field? Absolutely. We can totally be adapting this to a football field. I mean, you could say that in that 800-meter workout that you can't run the 300s, or in the 1600-meter workout you can't run the 400s, but you can run shorter distances on the turf, and you can do a lot of, one of the things we talked about in the last thing I did live, which was about mental skills. We did talk about 1600-meter training, and we did talk about the fact that Kelly Christensen at Niwot High School in Colorado, the first thing they're doing in the summer is Kenyan diagonals, where you're just running that. So if here's a soccer field, you're running the diagonal, then you're jogging slowly, running another diagonal, jogging slowly. That's the type of, Jeff, that type of workout is in the spirit of what I'm trying to communicate in this webinar, which is we just need to get a little bit of running in. We need to do Jeff's warm-up, get a little bit of running in, be doing strides, faster running, and then we need to do post-run work. One thing I didn't say in there too is ideally we go from one thing to another with no breaks. So we're doing Jeff's warm-up, going straight into some running, going straight into some post-run work. That is an unrealistic expectation to have that happen in week 1 by Friday. But in week 2, I think it is realistic on the easier days that kids can say, hey, part of this recipe that helps us gain fitness is that there's no breaks between the warm-up and the running and the post-run work. And what we're doing there is we're extending the aerobic stimulus, right? Our heart rate is up with the warm-up. We go straight into running. Our heart rate goes up even more. And then as our heart rate's up, we don't take a break before the post-run work, which is what most programs do. We go straight into it. Now we're talking, it's February, and we don't have to worry about heat. If we fast forward and you and I are talking in June, sometimes we do have to take a break between the end of the run and going into the post-run work because of heat. The issue we might have now is you can do the run outside and you have to go inside to do the post-run work. The rest of the distance team would do. Yeah, and I think there's a crucial question that Jeff's asking. Most days, how do you keep these new kids engaged in a great culture? Jeff, I would say, let them do the warm-up, and then I'm going to contradict what I just said. Let them do the warm-up, do their strides. If they need to take a break, and then all do the post-run work as a group, I think that's great. Because let's say, Jeff, you're going to have older kids in your program who are on yellow post-run, and then you have this new athlete who's on red. If they all are doing it at the same time, I think in week 1 and 2 and 3, that's a good thing. And again, what I just said is, you got to do it back to back to keep the aerobic stimulus going. But I do think what you're bringing up, that the team culture piece of having everybody working hard together makes a lot of sense. And then let's go back to the first part of the workout. The older athletes teach the younger athletes the warm-up. Now you might say, those older athletes, they need to get, a really concise warm-up. No, let's bring them into the culture of the team by teaching them that warm-up. That warm-up has some challenging things to learn. And man, when that junior or senior athlete reaches out to that freshman and says, hey, just shows that here's how we do it, I think that's really powerful. Okay, what other questions do we have? I'll be really clear about the one with basketball players and swimmers. The basketball player has done all these ground contacts. The swimmer has done none. The swimmer's got the big aerobic engine. The basketball player, they can deal with some lactate, sprinting up and down the court. But even a basketball game where there's no foul called, they're only going to go up and down the court, 3 or 4 or 5 times. Both those athletes need this no prior training plan. Where I would change things is they're probably doing orange in week 2. And where I'd also change things, if this was an athlete that ran cross country with you in the fall, in week 3, they could go circuit week 1, circuit week 2. And then this is an athlete who should be doing a progression run in week 3. But if you're saying, we want to do a progression run right away, no, I don't think remember, what we want is not here. What we want is somebody who had trained 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 weeks all winter, but we don't have that. So, and again, I love dual sport athletes. I was blessed to play on a great basketball team in high school. My outdoor track season, my senior year, I think was 9 weeks because we made it to the state tournament. We had a mandatory week off. I probably ran 5 days. Maybe I ran 6. I did whatever my coach told me to do. And then we had the season, and state track meet in the state of Colorado is middle of May. Okay. How long are your track practices typically from start to finish? This is a fantastic question because I think it's getting at the fact that, our hard days, and I'd love for somebody like maybe Linda to chime in here too if you're still on. This idea that with Jeff's warm up and then the run and then the post run work, that post run work takes a while. So let's actually do the math on this. 13 minutes for Jeff's warm up, and it's not 10 and it's not 15. It's pretty much 13 once you learn it. Post run work, let's look at orange hard. Orange hard, which everybody's going to be able to do by week 4, if not week 3. Orange hard is 25 minutes. So we've got 13 and 25. Oh my gosh, now we're at 38 and we haven't even done any running, right? So now let's say the athlete's going for a 20-minute easy run and then doing a stride progression. We are over an hour of work, right? Now, athletes who are doing long runs in the track training system or the cross-country training system, if they're doing a 60-minute long run, we've got 13 minutes. Now I've got 60 at 73. When they're doing orange hard run, we're doing 25 minutes. We do the hard post-run work after the long run. Now, I mean, if my math is right, 13, 16, 73. Now we're at 98. We're basically at an hour and 40 minutes, right? So, Coach, these definitely, my workouts are longer than some people's on the hard days. Our hard days are going to be really hard, but we're going to take our easy days easy. And the idea is we're going to get really good. We're going to get a really good stimulus, whether it's an aerobic stimulus or in track. If we're doing a race pace workout, we might deal with some lactate, and then we're going to take our easy days really easy. Okay. If you don't have consistency is key. I'm not trying to sell the book, but the things in the, it's really important to understand the car analogy. We're building our aerobic engine because even the 800 is 60% aerobic. And you probably know that 5K cross country is 95% aerobic. Everything's in between 1600 meters, roughly 82% aerobic. We've got to strengthen the chassis. Let's go back to our swim athlete. Our swimmer has a big aerobic engine, but because they haven't hit the ground for 3 months, we've got to strengthen their chassis with all this post-run work. So if you're saying, why am I doing 25 minutes of the orange hard? We're doing it for that reason. And then we're revving the engine most days. So we've got this car with the engine. We've strengthened the chassis, but we've got to rev the engine. The progression of strides. Here's a mistake that people make. We can't make this mistake with our athletes where we're doing strides at 5K pace, which is what we start with in these progressions, whether it's in track or cross country. We're starting with 20 seconds at 5K effort and then 5K effort. But we've got to get down here where we're doing 800 meter effort as soon as possible. And then at some point we're getting to 400 meter effort. Okay. So revving the engine most days, like that's one of the things that is in those documents is moving. We have to have intent with our strides. Now, in the first week, I'm not saying they're sprinting all out when they're doing 6x100. It should be comfortably fast. They should be running with good posture. But then we have to get after it a little bit. Hey, and thanks. Some people just hopped on and joined. Thanks for everybody who joined. Feel free to chime in with where you're from, if you coach boys or girls. And I'm also curious where everybody is in their season. I do a bad job sometimes. I'm biased towards state of Colorado, which I believe starts on Monday, February 27th. So, okay. And this is from Wayne. Wayne, thanks for sharing your name. There are going to be some very different paces on my team. Can a workout have a time limit so that kids might not finish all the reps and others do more depending on the fitness? Absolutely. We want to individualize these workouts for athletes, okay? Where I don't want to see a difference is in the volume of the workouts I talked about. When we do that 800 meter workout on week number 2 on Monday, we're running 3 300s. Everybody on the team can run 3 300s. The next week on Monday, we're doing that 1600 meter workout. And if you're listening to this, you're like, that's not enough volume. Remember, this is the no prior training plan. I should have said this. Everything that I'm saying tonight does not apply to the kids who've been training for 2 months all winter, right? We're talking about the kids who've done nothing. So when we look at week 3 and we're doing 400, 400, 400, fast 200, everybody can do that volume. I think sometimes we think that a younger athlete can't do the same amount of volume as the older athletes, but for these race pace workouts, we need that volume. And remember, they're running slower, so they're not going to be on the track as long. And I think the second part of this kind of goes into the spirit of the other question, which is do what you need to do to have kids together most of the time. So they're going to do the warm up together. And if some kids need to shorten their run or take a break before the post run work so they can all then do the post run work together, I think that's fine. I shouldn't say I think that's fine. I know that's fine. Okay. Linda, the aerobic stimulus by going from warm-up to workout to post-run has greatly benefited our runners in just a year. With little downtime, our practices all fit into the 2 hours max. Oh, and Linda, I'm glad you brought that up. I can definitely, when I was coaching professional runners, we had 3.5 hour practices because they were professional runners and they were paid to take a nap. Think of that for a moment. They were paid to trade their tails off in the morning, have lunch,
take a nap, go for their second run, maybe get a massage that night. So they needed to take a nap. I think 2 hours is you should limit it for high school practices. I have a really good friend, Dr. Jeff Mezer, who has practices that go over 2 hours. I have another good friend, Jonathan Dalby, who's at Mountain Vista High School in Colorado, featured in Consistency is Key. His teams are just amazing. And he's like, hey, once it hits 2 hours, we're done. Like if they're in the weight room or they're doing post-run work and he sees on his watch it's 2 hours, he sends them home. And I just love that. I think that your most motivated kids would want to stay there and do another 10 minutes. But I think what we do is if we do that too many times throughout the year, they just get drained a little bit mentally. And we want kids always excited to race and to do hard workouts. Okay, one more time. We'll put this document in the chat so you have it. Yeah, and what you're going to do is you're going to click on this, and it's going to ask you for your email, and then you'll download it. And the moment you put your email in, you get the download. But if you're not somebody who's on my email list and you don't have access to the videos, you'll automatically get sent this email. It'll come from info@coachjjohnson.com. Gives you access to download these videos. It's pretty cool. There's an app on your phone that you can watch all this. Now I feel like it's time to acknowledge the fact that this webinar started at 6:30 and Mountain Time and not at 6 because I completely screwed up and I was not ready at 6. Creating this page with the link and doing all that stuff. It wasn't until about 6:15 that I was done. I realized it at 6:06 and I was embarrassed. And but one of the neat things about middle age is giving yourself grace when you screw up. And I was able to do that tonight. So that's the win for tonight. Okay. Linda, I don't think I did answer your question. Linda's saying, not sure. I saw it and then I didn't get it answered. Not sure if you saw my earlier question. We have a meet at the end of week 3, suggestions on adapting week 3. That if the meet's on Friday, I would keep it. I would keep Monday the same thing. We want to go hard Monday. So we can always go hard on Monday when we're doing something Friday. We can also go hard on Monday for these newer kids if the meet is on Thursday. Now, Tuesday's got to be as easy as it is on there. And then Wednesday, we don't do that Wednesday workout day. We do our pre-race day on Wednesday. Let's say we're doing the workout Monday, easy Tuesday. We're probably going to water down Wednesday a little bit. Pre-race day Thursday, race on Friday. But Linda, if you're the Friday race, we're definitely doing the Monday workout. And actually for it's Saturday. If it's Saturday, you're doing Monday workout, Tuesday easy, Wednesday you keep the same, Thursday. Well, I might give them the day off. I'd give these kids the day off Thursday. Yeah, you need to give them the day off because we only want them running 5 days in a week this week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Let them take off Thursday. If you're like, well, I want them to come to practice, have them come to practice and just do the mobility. And I'm sure there's people thinking, Jay, we've got to train. Yes, but remember what a shock to the system this is in terms of ground contacts, right? Remember the fact that they have done nothing prior to this first week, okay? And Linda's a very good coach. She'll find a way to have these kids involved in the culture of the team. Also, I don't coach high school and I don't teach high school, but I think sometimes when a kid comes out for track right away, they may be like, oh my gosh, I'm struggling to get my homework done these first 2 weeks. I'll actually take advantage of a Thursday when I don't have practice, get on top of my homework. Anyway, we're doing pre-race Friday and we're doing the race on Saturday. So, okay. Well, thanks so much for your attention tonight. Feel free to ask a couple more questions. And if you like this, I'm at Coach Jay Johnson on Twitter and Instagram, actually on TikTok too. I do things for kids on TikTok. I probably should be a little more active on Facebook. This is 2023 and I'm definitely committed to doing a lot more videos on YouTube. The final thing I should say is all of this, and this is not a hard sell. This is a gentle explanation of where this comes from. All this comes from something called the track training system. And the track training system, here, we'll show it to you really quick. Okay. This is the track training system. We've got some great this is something, we're in our second iteration of it. This is what you get: 24-week training plans, pre and post run training. And what I shared tonight was the red and the orange, but you get yellow and green. You get all this stuff on your phone. And this is a plan for all your athletes. So we have no prior training plans all the way up to kids, who are doing 60, 70-minute long runs to start, build up to 90-minute long runs. I do a decent job, and I've got to do an even better job of answering everybody's emails in a timely manner. But you get email support from me. Where I am now is, if you're in the track training system, I answer your email, and I don't have time to answer all my emails. You get lifetime access to the track training system. So anyway, that's in the chat here. You can check that out. But that's where this comes from, is from the track training system. So it's one of those things that what's been great is it helps veteran coaches. It helps new coaches. And I think there's a lot of coaches in between, coaches who've coached for multiple years, have had some injury issues. No, if you've coached for a few years, you know what some of the biggest issues are right now. You got to get the uniforms out. You got to be organized. You got to get kids bought in. And there's so many coaches who've had really good success that tell me, Jay, what I love about the track training system is it frees me up to have relationships with the kids, to really dial into to who they are, by you basically laying out that training. Okay. Well, this has been great. Thanks so much for tuning in. And always with these things, if you see that I'm doing one live and you can't make it live, you just go to this exact same link on YouTube and the recording will be there. Have a great night. Thanks for being engaged. And if I can help in any way, ask questions in the comments. All right. Bye-bye.